Hello everybody, my name is Henry Miller. I chose McDonald's as my Fortune 500 company, and I will explain every chapter, including chapters 1 through 13 of the book and how it compares to McDonald's. In chapter 1 of the book, it introduces what strategic management is exactly. In the PowerPoint, I showed exactly what it was and how McDonald's dealt with the strategic management. In chapter 2 of the strategic management book, it talks about leading strategically. Leading strategically is done through visions and missions. And throughout the next 3 slides, I explain what visions and missions are of the McDonald's Corporation. In chapter 3 of the book, it talks about the internal environment, which is everything that's within the organization. The internal environment uses the resources and capabilities to earn a profit for the organization, and they use the resources and the capabilities of the McDonald's Corporation. An example could be, targeting certain markets. Like the resource could be, targeting children, and the resource could be, use toys to target them. That could be an example of a resource that McDonald's uses. Chapter 4 of the book talks about the external environment, which includes everything that is outside that the business cannot control. An example of an external environment would be macroeconomics, which include the things that are listed in the PowerPoint. An example of how McDonald's deals with this is to make sure that they do all things ethically and legally so they do not have problems within the society. In chapter 5 of the book, it talks about creating business strategies, and a way that McDonald's creates a competitive business strategy is it targets certain types of food. They compete with Starbucks by creating new coffees, and they also competed with healthy foods by creating certain types of healthy foods that the public would like. In chapter 6 of the book, it talks about dynamic business strategies. A dynamic business strategy that McDonald's has is creating a slogan that stands for something that everybody loves by saying, "I'm loving it." You hear that on the commercials. And this creates a sense of feeling that when you go to McDonald's, that everybody that goes there loves it. In chapter 7, I learned about corporate strategy, and it talked about gaining new success in new types of markets. And McDonald's does this, as I mentioned earlier. They gain new success by targeting new markets, such as creating coffees, breakfast, healthy foods, and so forth. In chapter 8 of the book, I learned about the international strategies, and once I did a little research on this, I learned that McDonald's has to learn new ways to create food because every culture is different. At first they started in the United States, but whenever they moved to a new country, they had to learn what that culture liked exactly, so they had to learn a new strategy. In chapter 9 of the book, I learned about alliances, and this is where a firm joins with another firm and combines their resources. McDonald's has done this in many situations, including companies such as Walt Disney as one of the biggest, and what they did was created toys for children to market to the children, and they created the toys that were Walt Disney characters. In chapter 10 of the book, I learned about mergers and acquisitions, and this is 2 different things, but they're very similar. It's where they either combine to create one new firm, or when a firm just takes over the existing firm through their stock market. And McDonald's has done this, most importantly with the Boston market. They took over the whole firm and created more McDonald's and other types of businesses to gain more profits for their organization. In chapter 11 of the book, I learned about organizational structures, and what this is everything that makes up the business, including logistics, employees, research and development, everything that the employees do. And McDonald's, makes up, just like any other company, it has many different structures to form one big corporation. In chapter 12, we learned about new ventures, which is starting a whole new business from scratch. Now, McDonald's hasn't really done this since when they started, but when they started, it was a new venture. In Chapter 13 of the book, we learned about corporate governance. And what this is how the company controls each specific side of the business. And in my conclusion, I tried to find what the biggest strategic issue was of the McDonald's Corporation, and the biggest thing I could find through research was health issues. McDonald's not the healthiest food, so I think if they found a way to make the food healthier, they could not ever be stopped.